truck that hit my portrait. Somehow it got fixed and I'm back up in place and you didn't take me down. That's good. And then I'm looking up here and when you haven't been around for a while, you see all things have changed. And I'm looking at all the acoustical material up there. Joan, do you remember our struggles when we opened this place up? It was such a cacophony of sound that we had to put something up so that we had a gathering like this that we all could hear ourselves. And so after 30 years, I guess, of splattering stuff, we had to replace it. So it's nice to see that that's been replaced. Looking around and seeing all of you reminds me of an Irish story. Actually, well, it's one that's been told too many times, but I'll try to give another shot. It seems that, actually this was a favorite of President Ronald Reagan, so some of you know that this has been told classically. It was in that era in the end of the Cold War, and we had all this spy business going on. And we had to make connections with the Irish Republican Army. Now, we didn't have a special relationship openly with them, but in order to facilitate two governments talking, we sent one of our operatives from the CIA over to Ireland, to this little tiny town in Ireland. And he was to meet a fellow there who was the operative for the IRA, and his name was Murphy. Now, in order to make the correct Murphy, they gave him one of these code words. This is spy stuff. And he was supposed to meet, and he would have the code phrase, "The sun will rise over the bog in the morning." And then Murphy would know who he was. You see how it works? So he went to the little town and had about 10 pubs, and he picked one. And he walked into the pub and walked up to the bar, and he says, "Now, I'm here looking for a man named Murphy. Is anybody Murphy in the town?" He says, "Oh, Murphy it is." He says, "No, there's Murphy the sheep herder. He lives a couple stones down the road here. You'll find him at the farm. But yeah, there's also Murphy the bookseller. The bookstore is 2 blocks down the street. You could see him there. Oh, there's Father Murphy too, the church. It could be Father Murphy. My name's Murphy as well. Could you be one of me?" He says, "Does this mean anything to you? The sun will rise over the bog in the morning." "Oh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, why didn't you say it? You want Murphy the spy." Well, a lot of Murphys out here. And most of you, I know, although there's been some changes, some of the young ones in 2 years, it's amazing. And there's new Murphys that I'm just meeting. And that's such a pleasure. I know I speak on behalf of dear Joan Jurgensen, and thank you for this honor. Joan and I have truly been formed by this congregation over the years as we've had the privilege of helping to form some of it. I want you to know, and some of you who are new won't know this, that as you look around, there's literally nothing that you can see anywhere that does not have Joan Jurgensen's touch in it. Everything. Over the course of my tenure, all the expansion, all the renovation, all the choices. She chaired all those committees with a quiet, diplomatic, loving, but firm leadership. And it just is a thrill for me to be honored with her. And just one Joan Jurgensen story. In my last year or so, we decided we needed to paint the chancel, the terracotta red. It was starting after 18 years or so to look like it was worn. And so we sent the professional painter in, and he went to work trying to duplicate the color. Now, that color, Joan will remember how many meetings we go through trying to get everybody bored in that color. I thought I was going to get impeached when they painted the chancel red. Anyway, we got that, but the painter went in, and he could not discover how to recreate the color. He kept trying and painting little things with different paint, and it just didn't come out right. Now, Joan was not able to help us at that point. She wasn't able to speak to us and give us her guidance. But I remember saying, maybe, knowing Joan, just maybe, if we go into the files, we might find some help. And sure enough, deeply embedded in all those files, from all that work, in her beautiful, meticulous handwriting, if you've ever seen Joan's handwriting, was a detail for every particular color of paint anywhere in the building, including the chancel and its composition. That's Joan Jurgensen. We as much as I love this building, and oh, what a joy to hear the music today. When you're in a little church, you don't get a chance to hear this kind of music. And what a joy to be here and to drink it all in again, and so many memories. To be reminded here of the outreach of this congregation, which speaks for itself. Remember all of the meetings and all of the people, all of the work, all that stuff. But you know, the thing that it's really all about is not about any of that. It's not about the color in church. It's about our relationships with one another. And that's what we need to attend to. All the people that we know, but all the people who are sort of between the cracks that we forget about, and all the dear ones who are in the margins and are so vulnerable, who are not members of our community. To me, that's the hallmark of this congregation, and I hope it ever will be. You've gone through a time of transition, which is now coming to a close. I'm reminded of the children of Israel, who were off into the wilderness, who left behind the comforts of Egypt. At least they thought they were comfortable. And they had to go into the wilderness and find themselves and discover themselves. And there in the wilderness, they found their true identity in a long and difficult time. And their identity was all intermeshed in a commitment to Yahweh as God. I know that that's exactly what you have been going through. And you are now prepared to move soon across the Jordan. Moses never got to go there. I know how Moses must have felt. But you are going there, and I commend you, and that's my pastoral word to you. I commend you, and as you do that, remember, hang on dearly to one another. And last thing I want to say, and this is so typical. If we didn't have any fire engines going off or the ambulances, I wouldn't be in square. There are two people here that have not been recognized today and need to be recognized. First of all, Craig. Craig, you have been a model for all of us in care, love, and devotion. I can't think of anyone who embodies, vows, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish. Thank you. Thank you. And someone who seldom ever got any attention, and she didn't seek it. Of course, that's my Dottie. You all don't know. You can't know what it was like to see her husband constantly going out the door, constantly at meetings, constantly on weekends, constantly on holidays, Christmas, Easter, all the rest of it. And she made it possible for me to be with you. And that strength and her commitment to our marriage and to you is something I'd like you to honor her and thank her. So that's it. It's really good to be back with you, and you know, I know again I speak for Joan, who can't speak for herself, and you don't hear my voice, but you know that we constantly offer our intercessions for this congregation. Deeply grateful for all of you, and trusting that the Lord has wonderful things ahead for this congregation, even as we think about all the things that have happened and celebrate the past. I certainly do. Remain very dear to me, and I sure am glad I'm back up on the wall.